Afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Bradford Cloud User Group June event. First of all, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. We've today reached a milestone of 103 members on our cloud group at the moment, and it's all thanks to you. We're slowly growing. Also, if you do wish to take part, please do reach out if you want to present on the user group. We're open to new talent. Today, like all of the months, we have two amazing people presenting. We have May Alhajri. She has traveled virtually all the way from Saudi Arabia, and she will be presenting digital escape room and power apps. I'm looking forward to that. So that's our session 1 by May Alhajri. Session 2 is by we've basically got an overview of Autopilot Intune by first-time speaker Simon Lee. And each session will be followed by a Q&A. So if you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the chat, or we can ask the questions after the sessions are over. So yeah, let's move on to session 1, which is creating a digital escape room by using Microsoft Power Apps. And over to you, May.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Just a minute. Please let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yeah.
Are we able to see? Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for having me and giving me the here. Sorry for the voice, but I'm near to the mosque. So my name is May Alhajri. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is May Alhajri. I have been graduated with computer engineering bachelor degree. I'm in Saudi Arabia actually, and I'm from Saudi Arabia. And I'm working as a KSA digital analyst within Schlumberger. So I have 5 years experience with several positions and several areas actually. So I'm here and because I really like to share my knowledge with all of you. Before I move to the topic, so if you are interested to know me better and to see all my posts, feel free to follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, even I'm posting videos on YouTube. Also, I have my own community. I call it Sharing is Caring, so I will put the links on the chat. Feel free to follow me. If you have any question, you are more than welcome. So, as I mentioned, I'm here today because I really like to share my knowledge, and today I would like to share with you something really fun. So, okay. Today what we will learn about what's digital escape room, and also how we can create any digital escape room by using Power Apps. Also, we will see if it's possible to use apps to build a digital escape room, and we will do a live demo together. We will see what kind of steps do we need to follow, how we can build a digital escape room by using Power Apps. Okay. So let's start by understanding what is digital escape room. Actually, the concept of digital escape room is similar to the actual escape room. We have here in Saudi, and I'm sure with all the education, there is a game. It's like a room. They put you within the room and they give you a specific scenario. Like if you want to go out from this room, you have 60 minutes, and they give you a specific scenario. Like maybe it's about technology, maybe it's about criminal. It's a lot of things. So, similar concept. We are doing this as a digital by using an application. So this is the main things about digital escape room. It's like you can use it as sharing knowledge. It's also you can use it maybe if you have awareness campaign. It's helped the user to learn new things in a fun way. And while we are doing the live demo, you will understand how you can make your digital escape room in an attractive way. So this is digital escape room. The question is now how to create any digital escape room. What kind of steps do I need to follow to build any digital escape room? Is it easy? Is it difficult? Actually, it's really easy and simple. You just need to follow these steps to build any digital escape room. First, you need to write your story. So you need to know what kind of story or what's the purpose of your digital escape room. Is it for technology? Is it for a specific topic? Is it for another? So you need to write your story, your script, your room, what kind of things, what kind of that you will have. Second step, you need to create your clues and your locks. So it means what kind of things that I need to lock within my room to able the user to think, to answer this question and move on and open the door. This is the second step. Third step, create your image. You don't need to be like, your image doesn't need to be as an animation. Maybe actually you can take a picture for your actual room and add it to your application and put some fancy things, and based on this one you can build it. I will show it to you while we are doing a live demo. So, or if you are expert in animation or you really like to build an animation things, maybe you can make your game as animations. So it depends on what you are expert, and it depends what do you want to use. And even if you don't want to take your picture for your room or any animation, you can use any free sources available, and you can take a picture for any room and add it to your game. Number 4 is create the logs and build your application. How we can create a logs within the digital escape room, how we can build it actually. This is what we will learn today. So now it's the time to see the application and guide you on how we can do it, on how we can build it, and what kind of tricks and tips that we need to do. So let me share the live demo. A minute. Okay, here we go. So this is our application. If you see, let me zoom it again here. Okay. Okay, cool. If we look at the application here, I have a few pages actually, because here in the main page, actually the first page I have it's like a loading page. So for me, for any application that I'm building, I really like the style for PlayStation. Like when you run the PlayStation, you will have a voice and with your icon or specific things. So similar way, for any game that I'm building, I'm using the same concept because it's more attractive when the user, they open the app or the game. So here we go. First step, what I mentioned that we need to write a story. So here, the first step that I did it, actually, I wrote my story. So what's my story here in this game? My story here is to build a digital escape room. And the main topic that I will cover it here, it's about Power Platform. So I want the end user to be familiar with Power Platform tools in easiest way. So I want the end user to be able to see what kind of different tool that we have it from Power Platform, and also how we can use each tool in a smart way. So the game here, it's really easy, and it's like awareness game to show them that we have several digital tools that will save their time and automate their task. So this is my story. Second step, actually, I need to think about what kind of locks do I need to have in my game, what kind of things. So I already think about it, like it's a Power Platform tool. So how many tools do I have? I have Power Apps. It will be the first lock. I will have a Power BI. Second one, I have also Power Virtual Agents. Number 4, I have Power Apps, Power BI, Virtual Agents, and Power Automate. So the key locks that I have it here, it's 4, which is the Power Platform tool. So I already done with my first step, second step. Third step, actually, I need to build my images. It means how I can build the story and convert it to be maybe animation, because I really like the animation style. Maybe in your scenario, you want to make it easy with only one page, and maybe it's animation or another style. It's up to you. So here, I'm expert in the animation style, so that's why I used to do my game by using animation. And it's also easy to do. You just need to practice on how to build the animation things. I can arrange a specific session about the animation, what kind of tools that I'm using to build my character here. Okay, so now let us play the game and see how it's look like. Then I will show you what kind of tricks and function that I have in my application. It's really easy to do and to build, and I build it within less than 30 minutes. Okay, let's see. So now, to make your game really attractive and digital escape really attractive, you need to tell your end user in easiest way. Make your game attractive as much as you can. So here we go. The first story, or when they open the application, the first page that they will be able to see is this one. It's like my character and a few text. Okay, like here I'm making attractive things because the end user will feel like Agent 008 or the character that we have it in the game, they are talking to each other. So with this way, the user will be able to feel like, oh, there is something really interesting. I need to see what kind of game do I have here. Okay, so here the first step, like I mentioned to the user, okay, thanks God that you found me, and look like I'm stuck in this place and I need to go out from here. So here I start my first story, or my first part of my story. Then the user will be able to click tap to start. Okay, I will explain later on what kind of function that we have it for each page. Then again, I'm starting to mention the second type of my story, like I'm introducing myself here within the game, like who I am and where I am actually. So here I'm mentioning like I'm Agent 008, and actually I was working in my office, and by organizing my stuff, I actually and everybody's the user what they need to do in order to let me out from this office. So here, in order to escape the room, you need to help me to automate, which is the main story of my game. I need to automate my task that I have it on my digital escape room, and you have 4 locks actually. So here I mention it clearly to them. So you need to help me to solve 4 questions or 4 locks, and based on this one, I will be able to go out from the game. Okay, so when they click tab to continue, actually here, the game will start. Okay. Here, it's an office. It's like a room. The user, here you have 2 options. Either you can add a timer if you want, if you have a lot of locks and you want to make it more attractive, you can add a timer and easy to do. But here, it's for me, I didn't add it because it's a really simple room. I just put the concept of the game. But the actual digital, or the actual, sorry, escape room, there is a timer which is 60 minutes to escape the room. But here it's easy, so they don't need even less than 60 minutes. Okay, so here we go. Here, the user they need to think, how can I solve this one? Where is the locks that I have? So there is nothing here. Here, I did something really attractive. I didn't put any hint to the user. It's up to you. Maybe you want to add a hint to the user, like with the timer, like you click here or help me to solve this one. So at the end, it depends how you want to explain or help your end user to solve the escape room. So here, because within Power Apps, when you add a button and you hide it, by default, the mouse will change. So for example, if I move my mouse here to here, there is something it changed. It means there is something here. There is a specific thing that I can solve it. So once I click here, a pop-up message will appear, and it's the question. It's the lock that I need to unlock it actually. So here I need to analyze all my stored data into one dashboard. Which tool should I use? So now the user is supposed to add their answer, right? With Power BI, and the main things actually, when they click here, 2 or 3 actions will happen. First, the user will be able to see if their answer is correct or wrong. Second, I will be able to store my data in a collection, which is, I will show to you how I did it. Third things, actually, if my answer is correct, I will show you what will happen. So here, correct answer. I supposed to see a lock here because I didn't. Okay, let me go back here. Try it from here. Okay, cool. So here, the user will be able to see this icon. It means they already solved the escape room here, or the first part of my escape room. Okay, similar scenario for the rest. For example, here I have another one. A question concept for another story. So here the question is Power Apps. What you can add if your escape room more complicated, or you have a lot of a question and they need to think, maybe you can add a hint, or maybe you can add, for example, if you are building a digital escape room to your company and there is a specific things they need to look at it, like a link or any material, maybe you can add here, go to this site or check this material, and from there you will be able to find your answer. Here it's really easy, and the answer is really easy to answer. Maybe, as I mentioned, in your scenario will be more difficult, or they need to think about it. They need to look to other resources. You can add here a hint or something. Even if you want to make it more attractive, for example, here, maybe by mistake I put a space. So I don't know if it's a Power Apps, right? But this is the old name of Power Apps. I supposed to put a space here. So if I answer it here, it will be wrong answer. So how can I help the user to know what's the wrong actually, or how many letters do I have? How many words do I have? You can add it here. So let me put a space. It's a correct answer. Now he solved it. It's stored in my collection, and now we are able to see this one. Number 3 here, it's about our virtual agent. I will answer all these questions and I will show it to you. Okay, here we go. And also we have here, it's for how we can build time-saving workflows. It's Power Automate. Now, something will happen. So this is the last question for the user. After they solve all my logs, they will be able now to see a pop-up message with like, congratulations, you escaped, or we escaped. Maybe you can add a music, maybe you can add a video, or it depends what you want to show to the end user. Here we go. Now they're supposed to see. Okay, here we go. So they will be able to see this message, like, we escaped because of you, thank you for helping me, and so on. In your scenario, maybe you have several escape rooms together. Maybe you want to build one room, and once they open it, they go to the second room. Maybe it's several levels actually of escape room. Maybe you can build, like, if you have a several topic, you can build, as I mentioned, room inside room. It will be more attractive, and it will be a level actually, and you can add a score if you want to make it more attractive. So what if they want to build or to run the game again? Is it possible? Yes, actually, by click here reset, they will be able to, their answer will be removed, and they will be able to retake the game again. So the question is how I build this room, what kind of trick and what kind of data source that I'm using here. So let me show you how I build my room here. Just a minute. Okay, so what I did basically actually here, let me show it to you. When we played the game together, it was empty. There is nothing to the user, right? There is no Power BI here, or lock number 2, lock number 1. There is nothing. Everything, I was hiding everything actually. So how I built this one, I used label, button, and pop-up message, and also a collection. So I will go through step by step. First, I put here a button, okay, which is this one. And actually for each lock, it's the same concept. So if you enter this one, you will be able to do the same for as much as you have within your game. So if you understand now the first one, you can add more than 100 actually within your game, because it's the same concept. You just need to copy and paste and change a few things. So let's see how I build this one. First, I put a button here. I call it lock number 1 to make sure that I understand how many locks do I have in my game. And from there, actually, I put a context variable. I built a context variable that will help me when the user click on it on the actual game, they will be able to see a pop-up message. So that's why I'm building here a context variable. Okay. The question here, before we go in more details about the pop-up message, why I'm adding a label here? Actually, the label that I have it for near to each lock, actually, it's like the answer. Because while we are showing you now the pop-up message, there is a trick to see if the user is answering the question equal to this label, it means it's correct and do some actions. So first step, I have a button, and it within the button, when they click on it, I'm creating a context variable, and also I have a label. For this label, just a label with the answer, the correct answer. Okay. Let me click here, okay, on lock number 1. Okay, so what do we have here? I have a rectangle. I make it like you change the color. It's really easy to do it. There is nothing difficult here. Also, if you create any, what I suggest here, if you create any pop-up message, for example, here I have 4 pop-up message, and it's for different slots. Actually, what you can do, you can group it. So it will be much easier for you if you want to do any change in the future. So what I'm doing here, if you see this one, look, number 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be much easier for me if I have any change or anything that I want to do. So here we go. For the first one, what do I have? I have a rectangle here, and also I have, I changed the color. Also, I have this one, the frame, to add my question. A frame, actually, I built it by using PowerPoint. It's something really easy. If you don't want to use this one, you can use any icons that we have it. So it's just an image. Even this one, just an image. What do I have? Also this one, it's just an image, but there is an action here. When the user click on it, what kind of action do we have here? Actually, let me see. It's like we make our, okay, here we go. The action that we have it here, actually, we are making our variable that we created at the first time. Once we click in the button that we have it on the digital escape room, now we are turning this one off. So when the user click on it, the pop-up message will be disappeared. So this is the purpose of making your context variable as a false. Okay. Also here we have another context variable, which is, I will show it to you why do we have it here and why it's false. Okay. So let us talk now about the number 3. 3 things that we have it on our pop-up message. It's a label actually, and it's a question. For each pop-up message, there is a specific question. Actually, here it's written within the application. If you have more than these locks, actually, or you have a lot of questions within your digital escape room, I suggest for you to use a SharePoint, not a collection, because it's better to put your questions, your answer there, and based on this one, you will be able to see only one pop-up message, and every time you can exchange based on your variables that you have. It will be much easier for you. But here we have a few questions. That's why I make it in easiest way. Okay. Okay, so here the label, the question that I have it's already written as a text within the application. There is nothing. The main things actually that we have it's here within this icon. So here I have text input, the user while they are entering the question. And once they click here on this icon, actually, there is a few things will happen. First, what we are checking actually, if the answer that I have it on the text input here equal to this label. If you look at it now, it's become green because for the first part, if my answer that I have it on text input equal to the label that I added here, what do I need to do? There is 2 actions will happen. First, I will collect that the answer that I have it here and add it to my collection. Also, I will create, or I will make my variable, the other variable, context variable, true. It means the user, after they enter their question and after they click here, they will, if it's correct, we are collecting their answer. If it's wrong, we are not collecting their answer. But for example, here, let me type Power Apps, and let's see what will happen. Cool. So now, because it's correct answer, it means I have the answer stored in my collection, which is, I will show it to you. Second, they will be able to see this label. If it's correct, it means correct If it's wrong, it means wrong answer. Okay, so here we are just adding another variable and we make it true. And how can I see this one? Why it's not visible for me from the beginning? It means I'm using something here, we call it visible actually. And we are adding the name of the variable that I created here, which is here. I call it here. You can call it whatever you want. There is no standard of calling your variable, so you can change it. So whenever they're adding their answer here, they will be able to see here because I make it visible whenever they are clicking here, even if it's wrong. If it's wrong, they will be able to see a wrong with the red color. Okay. The question here, how can I make it green or red and correct answer, wrong answer? How can I do this? It's really easy. You just need to change something within the text and the color actually. For the text here, what I'm doing here, I'm doing the same thing. I'm checking actually the text input. If it's equal to the label that I have it here, so make it correct. If it's not equal, make it wrong answer. As simple as. There is not, it's really straightforward and it's the easiest way to do if it's wrong or correct. If you have a SharePoint or if you have another data source and you have it, you want to check, so you just need to change it from label to the column that you have it in your SharePoint. Similar concept. Okay? Okay, so let us now check the collection. Is it right that I mentioned that whenever they are entering the correct answer, so we are saving only the correct answer? And why I'm doing this, I will show it to you. But let me first show you the collection. Here, I have 4 collections. For the first one, it's already done because it's already correct answer. But if you look at number 2, number 3, number 4, there is nothing. Why? Because I click on the reset, if you remember, and I deleted everything because otherwise they will not be able to take the game again. So we need to make sure that we are cleaning if they want to play again the game, to reset the game or reset the collection. So, but what if they are entering a wrong answer? They will not be able to see it here. It will be empty. There is nothing. And even the icon that the unlock, they will not be able to see it. Okay. The question is here, how can I see the pop-up message here? We mentioned that, let me show it to you. When I click on the icon here, or sorry, when I click on the lock here that I have it, I'm creating a context variable, okay? And I make it true. It means on my pop-up message that the group that I created, I put something under visible here and I put the name of the variable. It means when the user click here, show me the pop-up message, as simple as. Okay, so this is for the first part. Okay, now why I'm collecting only the correct answer? What's the idea behind this one? Okay, let me show to you the answer. I will try and answer here. And now we are able to see this one. Okay, before we move to the question that I mentioned it here, but let me show you how we are able to see this one. The first part of why we are collecting the correct answer, because here for this icon actually under visible for each part, so it means I have 4 icons or 4 images. It's up to you in your game. So here, what I'm adding under visible actually, I'm checking if my lock number 4, maybe here it's number 4 in the collection. I mean, I'm checking the collection. I called each collection with the lock number 1, lock number 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. You can call it whatever you want. So here, what I'm checking actually, I'm checking if my collection for this question is not empty. It means true. Show me this icon. It means we are saving the correct answer. So here I'm saving my time rather than adding a lot of things like to check if the collection is collecting Power Apps and so on. So to make it easier even for me, what I'm doing, I'm only collect the correct answer because it will help me to show this icon to the user in easiest way by checking the collection. If it's not empty, it means this one, it's they are answering this one correct. If it's empty, it means they are not answering this one correct, or they did not try to answer it. Okay. Number two, why do I need to collect only the correct answer? Let me show it to you by answering the rest actually. Power BI, and it's here Power Automate. You remember when I showed you like the pop-up message? The final step for the user to show them like you escape the room or whatever we are having. So here actually, after this step, we are able to see this pop-up message. Give a few seconds, it will appear. Okay, here we go. Okay, so how we are able to see this one? For example, here I have 4 blocks, right? Okay, what I'm adding here, or how I make this one, I'm using also a visible thing that we have it here. And what I'm checking here, let me show it to you, just a minute. Okay, here we go. Let me zoom it out so we'll be able to see the code. Okay, so what I'm doing here actually, I'm checking all my collections. So here I have 4 collections. It means if my first collection, and you need to use and not or, and my second collection, not empty, and my third collection, and also my number 4 that I have it, like number 4, not empty, it means it's a true. It means show me this final step and the user, they already escaped the room. It's really something easy. You just need to understand what kind of things that you need to add, and it's really easy to use. There is nothing difficult. Okay, let me zoom it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so in this way you will be able to build your escape room. It's really easy. What kind of things that we used here? Actually, we use the collections to collect our answers. We use the button, label, pop-up message, a few icons, a few images. As I mentioned, you don't need to do the same thing as an animation. You can make it more simpler, even by taking a picture for the specific room or using a free images that we have it on the internet. And you just need to think about here, what kind of story do you need to build? And plus what kind, like it's question and the answer. And if you want to make it attractive, you can add a timer, you can add more hints to the user. And also you can make a lot of levels. It depends to build in your digital escape room. And actually this one, it will be helpful not only for kids, actually it will be helpful for different ages, different purpose. Actually you can use it in business purpose as awareness or as a sharing a knowledge. You can make your session by using a digital escape room. It's really something really attractive, and it's a new way of sharing a knowledge and engage with others. So this is my escape room, and this is how we can build it. Easy to use, easy to build, and nothing difficult. Maybe while you are trying to build it by yourself, you will add more functionality, you will find more tricks actually. So if you have any question, just let me know in the chat. So hopefully that you like it and you will try to build your own digital escape room. So thank you so much. So I will look at the chat now. So if you have any question, I will be able to answer it.
Thank you, May, for that presentation. I think we had a few connection issues at times. The connection kept on speeding up and slowing down your connect. I think it was a few connection issues, but there's nothing you can do about that. But thank you for that. Let's check the chat to see if we have any questions. Okay, no questions at the moment. That's
I've got a question, May. How do you create those animations?
Okay, most of the people, they ask me this question. They forget about the main concept, and actually I'm using several tools to build this one. I'm using like a lot of animated tools like to build this one, and also I'm planning to prepare a specific session about it, because you can build this one even if you don't have any experience about how to build an animation. So stay tuned about my sessions. I will be posted on Twitter, so make sure to register on it. I will be sharing. I did before a session, I posted on my YouTube channel. I put the icons and a lot of things that how I'm building even my avatar on Twitter. And yeah, I will soon I will be doing a session about your question, how I'm building all these graphics. So
Okay, thank you.
you will be able to attend. Thank you.
It'd be good, May, if
So-
you could just share your YouTube channel and your socials in the chat as well, just in case
Yeah,
anyone
sure.
wants to look at that. That'd be great.
Okay, sure. Here we go. I just shared it, so you'll be able to find me on all social media.
Perfect. So yeah, May's got an amazing YouTube channel with a lot of good content on there. So you can see that. I think somebody is typing a question, I believe, so I'll give them a few more seconds to type. And then we'll move on to the next talk. Here we go. Conversations which I use in or does it? What am I? See that question, May?
Which are used in FX tab are domain specific or does it follow my framework? Can you explain more about it? Because
Mohammed, feel free to come off
Yeah.
mute if you want to ask a question in person. You can come off mute if it makes it easier.
Maybe he's asking about the button that I'm adding to the game. I'm not sure. Let's see, he's typing, so yeah.
Okay. We will let Mohammed just
He's
confirm.
still typing. He's typing.
Yeah. come off mute if you want, Mohammed. If it helps, if it's easier. Okay. Maybe you can just type the reply if that's okay, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah,
So
yeah, sure.
before we do move on, if you can all
Sure.
please unmute yourself and give May a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great session. Thank you.
So Dips has just asked, what are your inspirations for creating the escape room?
Okay, so for me, actually, I really like to make a lot of fun things, and I was like, think about what kind of things that I can build it to make the people more engaged, more attractive. So I build a lot of games. It's not by using an application only. So for me, I really like to think outside of the box. That's why I think about it. And I saw actually someone build a digital escape room, but by using OneNote. So I was thinking, is it possible to build it by using Power Apps? So that's why I start to think about it. How can I make it even much easier to the user and more attractive? Okay, so
Thank you very much.
thank you.
So we'll move on to the next talk. So it's my pleasure to introduce a good friend of mine.
Thank you.
Good friend of mine who's going to be doing a session on Autopilot and Intune. It's Simon Lee.
Cheers. Thanks, Shabazz.
Simon is presenting for the first time as well, so we're very honoured to have him present at our user group for the first time. Simon also, as well as being very active on Twitter, he's a co-organizer of the Cloud Management user group.
Yep.
So if you're not already a member of that group, I strongly recommend you do go and join them. They're doing some great sessions, doing some even better content on YouTube as well. They have their own YouTube channel. So Simon, if you can, towards the end, maybe you can drop those links in the chat. But I will hand over to Simon.
Cool. Cheers. Thanks, Shabazz. So yeah, this is going to be like a level 100. It's just an intro to like what Autopilot can do if you're looking at progressing away from like a traditional on-premise with like MDT, WDS sort of style. So this is me. I've been around doing tech for sort of 7 years. Started off in the education sector. Currently working in the MSP environment, doing sort of charities and businesses, and with a bit of Intune, and then looking to move into Azure. You might have seen. I can't show you at the moment, but the setup that I have at the moment, I've got 5 monitors, which has got it's an interesting thing. And then I've got a rack of servers. For doing test and dev stuff, predominantly around Hyper-V, and building VMs to my heart content. So the talk this evening is going to be a quick overview of what Autopilot is, what Intune can do for you, and then there's a couple of demos. And then obviously, if you've got any questions, either come off of mute or drop them in the chat. So Autopilot is Microsoft's, I say new, obviously it's been around for a while now. It's their new deployment solution, which is replacing like MDT and WDS. So effectively, you can take a device straight from the vendor, ship it straight to a user, and they can then sign in with their corporate credentials and have everything set up out of the box, ready to go within a couple of hours. Obviously, there are a couple of prereqs you need for this, primarily being Office 365, the relevant licensing, and a domain all set up with that, which if you've got emails already configured, you would do, and then you just need to put on the relevant licenses to go with that. So there's a couple of ways that you can use for device registration for Autopilot. You've got OEM, so you can partner with, as you can see in the graphic below, all the major vendors, and they can import those devices straight into Intune for you, so you can have them shipped direct from, like, say, Dell or HP or Lenovo. You can also then get them, if you're like a cloud CSP, you could get those enrolled into the partner portal for your customers that you're looking after. If you're looking to move away from an on-premise environment, you can hybrid join them through using the Azure AD sync tool, and then turn those devices from Azure AD into Intune. And then finally, you can manually capture the device hashes, which is what I'm going to demo this evening, and then enrolling that into Intune at a later date. So this is just to cover some of the licenses. If for the lab environment I'm playing around with at the moment, I've just got a couple of enterprise mobility E3 licenses, just to play around with device enrollment, and just test and dev. Obviously, if you were going to do it from a business environment, you probably want a business premium, so you get the Office licenses, the Windows 10, and then it all follows around with you. So to start with, I'm just going to change my sharing screen so I can give you a quick walkthrough of what is on the portal. For those who haven't seen it before. So this is the Endpoint Manager portal. So it gives you an overview of how many devices you've got enrolled. As you can see at the moment, I've got one Windows 10 VM, which I've been doing some testing with, and then we're going to enroll another one in this evening. So inside of here, you get all your device analytics. You can see how many devices you've got, who they're registered to, when they're last checked in, whether they're compliant or not. You can then go into monitoring and check to see if there's any conflicts or problems with policies. Then you've got all the app deployments side down here. So you can use, so obviously the Office suite, you can deploy natively. And if you want, you can do Apex packages and Win32 apps, which I'll cover probably in a later topic. I've done some blog posts around it on my blog, hypervlab.co.uk, around creating applications, packaging them, and uploading them. So as you can see here, we've got all the Office apps, TeamViewer set up, the company portal, and then just a couple of standard BAU apps like Adobe Reader and 7-Zip. And then this just goes into more in depth. So this is where you then create them. Go from there. You've then got endpoint security, which is where you can configure like Windows information protection, some Azure information protection stuff, disk encryption for BitLocker, all the antivirus updates and reporting, and then there's your firewall and configuration stuff in there. Then you've got all the various sorts of reporting. I, at the moment, haven't delved into a lot of this, but it's on my sort of to-do list at some stage to further get into. And then this is just all the users that pull through, obviously from Azure Active Directory, and then you can just reset passwords from here. And then you've got groups for doing dynamic tagging and flagging. So I'm trying to play around with getting the out-of-box experience to work based on dynamic groups for users, which is still a bit work in progress and is a little bit hit and miss at the moment. So on to the first demo. Let me grab my test VM, which is here. Can you all see the Windows 10 VM? or can you
Yes.
just still see the screen? Cool. So this, Dean, because I know you're on and you were very interested about this. This was the bit we were discussing about the other day about Shift F10. So this is a standard brand new Windows 10 VM. I've built using the media creation tool. Nothing else has happened to it yet. It's all in, as you can see, it's all in out-of-box experience. So from here to get the device hash, there's a couple of commands we need to run, which I can post a link to later. So firstly, obviously by default, the PowerShell execution policy is set to restricted. So we need to load into PowerShell, and then we can paste in the first command. So this sets the execution policy to remote signed. We're then going to create a local directory under C for exporting the CSV file into. Then we're going to download the script that I believe Michael Niehaus wrote way back when, which is the get Windows Autopilot information script. And this will then allow you to collect the device hash details and then upload them. Originally, when this script was first written, you would only be able to save them to a CSV file, and then you'd have to manually upload them into what was in the day store for business. But it's now since changed, so you can upload the device hashes straight into Intune, which is what I'm going to demo in a moment. So what this little bit of PowerShell does is it just gets the serial of the virtual machine, and then just creates a CSV file prefix with the serial number. So if you're then putting these all in a folder to send to either a client that you're looking after or wanting to import them into the cloud CSP portal, you know which devices they are. So if we then have a look, the CSV file looks like this. So this is the device hash, which is a massively randomly generated GUID for every device. So you could then copy that to a memory stick and then upload that into the portal. The other way you can do it is using the online flag, which will then allow us to enroll it straight into Autopilot. So it goes through, you then need to sign in with your Office 365 Global Administrator credentials. And then that's it. It'll then take a minute or two to then import the device into Intune. While this is just running away, have you got any questions at the moment, or?
I think we're good, mate. Oh, actually, we do have one question. Do you want to say the question till the end, mate? Then you can. Simon, would you prefer questions at the end, or do you want to do some now?
We can do a couple of questions at the moment. This will take a minute or two to sort of work its way through and upload the device to Intune.
Okay, so we have one in the chat, and we have Chris with their hand up. So, Chris, do you want to ask yours first, and we have Dean as well.
Yeah, Simon, just a quick one. I know within my role at the moment, when we get an iPads from Apple, we can automatically get them enrolled in Apple's version of this, I suppose. Is it possible to get laptops added before they get shipped out?
Yes, so if you bought them direct from like Dell or HP, you can get them set up as like a registered vendor in your Intune portal, so they could come straight from the vendor to site with them already enrolled. So then the kids would just need to log in with their Office 365 details, and it'll pull down all the apps on the fly.
Fantastic, thank you.
Nice. Anyone else?
I believe Dean has a question.
Yeah, not so much about Autopilot. How did you get the clipboard working on the VM console there? I can't.
It's just like native and Hyper-V. So this isn't. So at the moment, this VM's not even using just enhanced.
No, I know. Yeah, that's why I'm. Confused.
Well, what I found, going slightly off topic from a Hyper-V perspective, is you can paste into a VM. I've never to date been able to copy out of a VM backwards. So you can paste commands into it, but I've never been able to get them out. To get them out, you have to save them into a text file and then pull them off the VHD later on.
I've never been able to paste in, so I'm going to go and play with that.
No worries.
I think Matt's got a question. Matt, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, I can say it out loud. So on the licensing side, Simon, for Intune,
Yep.
is it as simple as there is just a per device license? It's not like with RDS where you have like user CALs and device CALs. Is it just there is a Intune license and that's it? It's one line item.
It's based around user licensing. So if you've got 5 users, you just license them with 5 business premium licenses, and then they can sign into, I think it's up to 5 or 6 devices, and that'll register in Azure AD.
So the license you get with business premium is the same on the Intune side, is the same as what you get with Office 365 E3 or the Intune add-on separately for the lower level of Office.
Yeah,
it is just an Intune license. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the lab environment that I'm playing with at the moment, I've got an Office 365 Business Basic, so I can play around with like some email stuff in SharePoint, and setting up like groups within Teams, and then I've got the Enterprise E3 license. So the whole tenancy at the moment costs me about just under £30 a month. And that's for like 2 business basic licenses. So I can play around with SharePoint with 2 users and Teams. And then I've got 3 enterprise and security E3. So one's on the global admin account, because when I first started out, if you don't license the global admin account, you can't get into the Intune portal and nothing works. So I learned that one the hard way. And then I've got 2 users who have licensed, one that I use for like me and my testing, and then one is like a test user that gets thrown all over the shop.
Matt, you can actually get an Intune device license, but that's more for like kiosks as well. You can get a specific one for more kind of kiosks that are not part of the sort of subscriptions. They are separate.
Yeah, I can see. So I can see an RCSP resale list as a single line item for about £3 a month or something like that. But if I had a hypothetical client who was new to us recently, who asked around the license side, and they're currently paying for E3 licenses, and they have some Intune add-ons. So I was like, I'm sure you don't have to do that, but I'll look into it. And I was going to suggest business premium, and then you don't need the add-on, so that covers it all, and you can save like shed loads of money by doing that. So I'm just ready to confirm that with you being the expert.
Yeah.
You are limited to a number of users you can have business premium on, though. I don't know what it is, might be 100 or 300. Yeah, fine.
300. Yeah.
And then just on the topic of kiosks, if you, from like a device enrollment stage, you can create like a self-deploying deployment profile. I so far haven't managed to get it to work, but it's on my, like I said, it's on my list today. So then in theory, it will just roll out as a kiosk and set it all up, or to roll it in, and you can manage it. So there we go. So this looks like this says it's now completed. It can sometimes take 5 to 6 minutes to show up in the device portal. So we'll see how lucky we are. So yeah, so this is one I was playing around with earlier on this afternoon to just check everything. So it hasn't checked in just yet. So we'll come back to that in a bit. So the next demo, if I just swap back to the slides. So the last part of the demo I've got, which is pre-recorded because it takes about 10 minutes, is what happens when you take an out-of-box device. So once it's checked into Autopilot and Intune, this is what it will look like. So depending on how many apps you've got configured to install, it can take anywhere from sort of 5-10 minutes to maybe half an hour. So this, when I recorded it, was just over 10 minutes, and I've put it through and edited it and sped it up just for the sake of the talk for this evening. So you go through, you put in your credentials. Obviously, I've got 2FA set up, so it will then send a text message to my phone. This then checks into Office 365 and Azure AD to see what groups and access I've got to. This then goes through, this will register the device into Intune, and it'll start pulling down any of the policies that I've got assigned. So you can do everything pretty much that you could do with group policy. There are some exceptions. So you can have like always on VPN, you can deliver Wi-Fi profiles, and all that sort of stuff, which I'll cover probably in another talk at some stage on configuring devices. And this will go through, it'll set up all the software required, it'll check all the policies. So I've got, as part of this, BitLocker encryption enabled as default. So it'll go through, check the device, and if the device checked out, it'll then install and configure BitLocker. It'll then put the BitLocker recovery key back into Azure AD, so it'll put it against the device license. which is really useful because the amount of times I've spent chasing around customer networks trying to find recovery keys to find it not in AD or in Intune is not fun. So then this is it. It'll sign you through. It'll then ask you to set up a PIN. And then it will go through installing the apps. I'm slightly ahead of the video at this stage. So the apps, like I say, that I've got set up for this deployment, I've got so it'll install Microsoft Edge. It'll do the full Office 365 apps for Enterprise along with Teams. It'll then download and install Adobe Reader, 7-Zip, TeamViewer for remote support. I've got OneDrive seamless sign-in set up, so it'll sign you straight into OneDrive. It'll then configure local profile and set up all the backups, and it will sign into Outlook straight away. So this is going through setting up the PIN, and as you can see, it's already installed Adobe Reader, and then it will automatically sign you into Teams. And that is it for that video clip. That's just like a quick overview of what an out-of-box experience setup would look like. It would be the same for every user. Obviously, you could customize it per department, so it would install different apps. You can then configure the company portal, so if you want, instead of installing all the apps in one go, you could have them scheduled in the portal, and then the users can install them as and when they need them. So with that, are there any more questions?
Doesn't look like there's any more in the chat, mate.
Fair enough. In which case, then, Shabazz, I'll hand over to you if there's no more questions.
I was just sharing that E5 developer license.
Yes.
Obviously, it doesn't have a Windows license included, but it's really good for testing if you want to get away with paying the £30 a month.
The only problem that I found with that, because I looked into that because I've seen it shared on Twitter, is it only works from like a brand new setup. So to do it, I'd have to trash my existing Office 365 setup, move all the emails out, and then put them back in. If you're wanting to play with something on-prem, and I know Dean's looked at this, there is a Windows and Office development kit. Let me find the link for it, which is really cool. So if you're wanting to play around with like hybrid migrations, it builds like a whole enterprise environment, gives you a system center to play with. And then from there, you can look at doing hybrid migrations and playing around with co-management.
I know a good YouTube series on that.
Yeah, should we shamelessly plug it, Dean?
Yeah.
So, Simon, if you can put the links to
yes, I will do.
Cloud Management User Group on the YouTube channel as well, because like I said, that's something you're part of, and it's there's very good content on there. If there are no more questions, if we could please all come off mute and clap, Simon. That'd be.
Well done, mate. Well done. Good session for the first one.
Thanks, guys.
Well done, mate.
Yeah, it was a great session, Simon. Thank you for that.
Well done, Simon. Well done, May, as well. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining us this evening. It's a short session today, which is I think it's good because I want my tea. But thank you, everybody. Like I said, like Imran mentioned, we've hit 100 members, which is for us anyway. For myself, Sargent, and Imran, it's huge. Bradford's only a little place, so it's nice to hit that. And like I said in the chat, there's all the socials of May and Simon. The recording will probably be up early next week, and again on the recording, on the description will be both May and Simon's socials as well. So yeah, just thank you everybody for your support. We'll be doing next month as well. We need to confirm the speakers, but I believe we'll have an MVP on. Maximum MVP will be joining us to do a session. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, May, again. Thank you, Simon. Everybody have a nice evening.
Great, thanks everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Thanks very much, guys.
Bye.
Bye.